Welcome to the Manifestation Podcast. I am Peggy McColl, and it is always a pleasure to serve you here in the Manifestation Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about something that's absolutely essential for success. What is that? Well, that's getting in alignment with the goods or the outcomes that you desire. It's an essential part of success. So this is something that I teach extensively inside my Skipping Levels program. And if that's something that you'd like to look at to be someone who is accomplishing your desires or experiencing quantum leaps, take a look at skippinglevels.com. But for today, I want to give you some guidance on how to know if you're out of alignment and then how to get back in alignment as well. So let's talk about the first item that I've created for you. So let's think about this. If you're using the words I wish or I hope, you are out of alignment. However, if you're saying things like I am or I have or I know, you're in alignment. You see, language, the words that you say, or even the thoughts that you think will give you an indication of whether you're in alignment or you are out of alignment. You see, it's essential that you know if you're in or out of alignment. Why? Because you're either manifesting what you desire or you're manifesting what you don't desire. When you're out of alignment, when you're caught up in negativity, when you're focusing on what you don't want, when you're looking at your present results, but you desire something different, you are absolutely out of alignment. Okay, here's another example of when you're out of alignment. When you fear the worst, when you're thinking, oh my goodness, what happens if, or you start thinking about not having enough money, or you start thinking about losing something, you're out of alignment. However, you're in alignment when you live in the joyous expectancy of the best. When you know in your heart, you know it in your heart that what you desire is already done. You live in the joyous expectancy of the best. So if you're someone who has been fearing the worst, or maybe you're there now, just start to declare, I live in the joyous expectancy of the best. It can be one of your affirmations. All right, how else are you out of alignment? When you hope you will succeed. Well, hoping is not enough. Napoleon Hill, in his great book, Think and Grow Rich, talked about that. Mere wishing and hoping is not going to bring you the goods that you desire. So how can you be in alignment knowing that what you desire is already here? You have to build the muscle, the knowingness through space-time repetition of these ideas to the point of conviction, as Neville Goddard says, to the point where you know that with every ounce of your being, you already are successful. Now, at first, if that's not the way you're being or the way that you are habitually inclined to think, you must create the habit patterns of disciplining yourself in order to know that. This is one of the many benefits of being in my Skipping Levels program. Here's another way that you're out of alignment. You think a negative thought. It might even be a fleeting thought. It might be a thought that just comes into your consciousness for whatever reason. Maybe you hear something from someone else, or you read something online, or it just pops in your mind, a negative thought, and you stay in the vibration of that negative thought. So maybe a worry idea comes into your mind and you stay there. You're out of alignment and you're staying out of alignment. However, if you choose to get back in alignment, you can notice the negative thought, but you instantly switch yourself right back over to a positive thought. And I do that by just asking myself empowering questions, positive questions that lead to positive responses, positive thoughts, and positive feelings. All right, you also know you are out of alignment when you wake up feeling anxious or worrisome. It's like you wake up in the morning, it's like, oh, new day. But immediately you start thinking about what's wrong in your life, what's not working, what's not there, or what is there that you don't like. Well, that puts you into a place called complete out of alignment. However, if you get into the habit of waking up in the morning and you feel blessed, you feel grateful, even if your results right now are not reflective of that, when you get into the energy feeling state of knowing that you've got so many blessings in your life and you have so much to be grateful for, that puts you in alignment. And if you stay in that state of gratitude, you keep the alignment. You stay in the alignment. Okay, here's another one, the other side of sleep. You're going to bed sleeping. You're going to bed to sleep, but you're concerned and you're thinking thoughts that are not in supportive of your goal. Now, that quite often happens because people get quiet, right? It's quiet just before you're about to drift off into sleep. So while you're quietly laying there, you start thinking about this didn't happen, or that bill needs to be paid, or what am I going to do here? And you get all caught in these emotional negative ideas. You got to stop that immediately. So here's what you do. Here's how to get in alignment and fall asleep in alignment. You go to sleep feeling relaxed, knowing your desires are already done. So here's what you could do. Here's a technique that I use. You write out this question and put it directly beside your bed, and you ask yourself this question and you emotionalize the answer, and that's how you go to sleep. So the question is, now that my dream is fulfilled, how do I feel? And then you drift off into sleep, feeling relaxed and knowing that it's already done. And then you're in alignment. Okay, now how do you go out of alignment? You go about your day praying something will change. You see, when you're in that state of, oh God, please, 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 you're out of alignment. Why? Because you're not feeling as if it's here right now. You're totally out of alignment. It may even sound like a positive thing to do. It's not. You have to know that your success is absolutely guaranteed. And the prayers that you make are simply prayers of thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Feeling the gratitude, the joy of knowing that what you desire, it's here, it's done with ease. All right, here's another way you're out of alignment: when you're upset. Maybe you're upset at yourself. Maybe you're upset at the media. Maybe you're upset at the government. You're just upset. Maybe you're upset with the world. Maybe you're upset with what's going on in the world. When you're upset, that's a negative energetic state to be in. And what are you doing? You're pumping out negative energy. So you got to look for the good. There's always something good, whether it's in this world, in your life, with others. Look for the good in everyone and everything. You may even start to declare as one of your affirmations, I am so happy and grateful that I only find the good in every situation and in everyone. Could be something like that. And when you're doing that, just think about it. Just think about it as we're talking about it right here, right now. As you're thinking about what's great, as you're thinking about the blessings, as you're thinking about the things that you can appreciate and be grateful for, you immediately start to feel better. So you want to go there and stay there. You want to go into alignment and stay in alignment with your amazing life. Okay, here's another way you may be out of alignment. And this is a biggie for many, many, many people. You feel angry. Anger is welling up inside of you. Now, that anger could be coming from something that happened to you in the past. That anger could be coming from situations that you've experienced that were recurring. That anger could come from people treating you badly. It could come from you pursuing your goals, but you haven't gotten anywhere. But either way, let me say this, and I really want you to understand this. Anger is destructive. It's a destructive emotion. It will kill dreams, but it also hurts you physically. It hurts you emotionally, and you're definitely not in alignment when you're angry. So if you have anger issues, you absolutely need to release it. Now, what's the opposite of anger? Calm, right? Calm. So what do you want to be? You want to be calm. You want to be relaxed. You want to know that the past is the past. You can't do anything about that. As my wonderful friend and mentor, Bob Proctor, says, you cannot change the time you got out of bed this morning. It's true, you can't. So you can't do anything about the past. Being angry is not going to help you. In fact, it hurts you. It hurts you. It really hurts you. Even if you feel it's justifiable, even if you have good reason for your anger, let it go. Let it go, because it's not serving you in any way whatsoever. You could maybe use it as a lesson, as something you can learn from it, but it definitely doesn't serve you. So as soon as you notice, bam, if you're feeling any anger, you want to be really effective at converting that anger to calm. Because at the other end of anger is calm, and that's a productive, that's an empowering, that's a creative state to be in, calm and relaxed. I am calm and relaxed. And you may even want to practice some techniques that take you out of the ugliness, out of alignment state over to alignment. I call them switching techniques. I wrote about that in my book, Your Destiny Switch, as well. So you got to be ready, like armed and ready, if you will, to notice those triggers when they pop up, to switch them over to the positive. Okay, let's talk about a couple more, and then we're going to wrap up this podcast. Let's say another out of alignment emotion is disillusionment. Maybe you feel like you've been trying all kinds of things and you've been working at your goals for many, many years, and you're just thinking it doesn't work and this doesn't work, or it's not working for you, or whatever. The moment you think that, out of alignment. Whenever you're in a state of disillusionment, you're out of alignment. If you're frustrated, you're out of alignment. Absolutely out of alignment. I remember, like, I started studying personal development in January 1979. I was blessed to meet Bob Proctor way back when. And so I began a very serious study, reading the books, going to the seminars over and over and over again. And I remember reaching a point after a few years of being in the study of the materials, I started to think it doesn't work, or it's not working for me. Well, just that thought alone throws poison on top of the great work that I had already been doing. So you want to be cautious. All of these things we're talking about that are on the side of out of alignment are destructive. They're poisonous. They kill dreams. And that's not what you want to do. So what do you want to do if you're disillusioned? You got to believe in the unseen. You got to have faith like a mountain, right? You have to live with a sense of certainty, knowing your success, it's absolutely guaranteed. Your goals are already in your life right now. And a lot of this is happening where? In your imagination. This is the how. In your imagination, you're doing things, whether you're listening to your Power Life script, whether you're actively involved in skipping levels, you're doing things actively that make sure that you're moving as fast as you possibly can out of those states that put you out of alignment over to the states that put you in alignment. And here's another one. You think of your goal rather than think from your goal. If you're thinking of your goal, you're not in alignment. If you're thinking from your goal, you're in alignment. Let's use this as an example. Let's say you're thinking about a goal that you'd like to accomplish, and you're saying, well, one day I'm going to do this, one day. Well, that's not now. That's not in the present tense. That's not already done in your imagination. That's sometime in the future. That's not aligned state. It's not an aligned state. I see this online. I see, speakers and presenters and these so-called coaches, success coaches who maybe have some kind of an understanding. And I see them working with people and I see their responses from people, but they're not giving them the right guidance. Why? Because they're not teaching them about being in alignment. You see, when you think from your goal, you're thinking as if it's already done. You know it's already accomplished. There's no doubt in your mind. Now, initially, you might not have that belief, but it is a belief that you can build, just like an emotional muscle. You can build any belief that you desire within your heart. And we've seen it. You've seen it in the world where people have beliefs and they're false beliefs, but they believe they're real. Or people that believe in something that's so ridiculous, or what other people might consider insane, and yet they accomplish it. You see, success, and really when you're talking about skipping levels or having quantum leaps in your life, quite often violates logic. It violates logic. Like, there have been so many times in my life when I have made a decision to actively pursue a goal, knowing what's required, as I'm sharing with you in this podcast, knowing what's required in order to manifest it. And I did not share my goals with other people. Why? Because I knew what they would say. I knew that they would tell me that I was crazy. And maybe I was a little crazy. Maybe there was a little bit of craziness as part of that process. But I found, and I know to be true, that success, especially quantum leaps, defy logic. Most people would tell you it's not going to work. Most people would tell you it's not going to happen. Most people would tell you why it's not going to happen. But most people aren't doing what you're deciding you're going to do. And most people are not accomplishing what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So you want to stay away from those naysayers. You want to eliminate as much negativity in your life as humanly possible. And you want to make sure that you're really paying attention to how you're feeling at all times. Because I'm going to summarize this podcast with something that's really simple, yet very important to know. And that is this: when you're not feeling good emotionally, whether you're feeling worrisome, whether you're feeling fearful, whether you're feeling doubt, whether you're being frustrated, whether you're angry, sad, whatever it is, any emotion that doesn't feel good, and you know what they are. You know what they are because you know how they feel. Any emotion like that, out of alignment, is destructive. It is not the place you want to be. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to be feeling negative emotions. You will feel negative emotions. You know, there's a law of polarity, right? You will feel those negative emotions. Just recognize when they're there. Like if you start to think a thought or feel a feeling that's completely out of alignment with what you desire, you want to be ready. You want to switch. Now, I love what Dr. Joseph Murphy said. He says, if you think a negative thought 50 times a day, switch it, change it. Change it to what? A positive thought, a positive feeling. You see, you must understand and know that no one is in control of how you feel. No one. You are the only one that's in control of how you feel. A bill doesn't cause you to feel something. Looking at your credit card statement does not cause you to feel something. Looking at your bank account does not cause you to feel something. It doesn't. You choose what you're going to feel. And could you be looking at a mountain of debt and yet feel prosperous? Absolutely. In one of my classes, I remember sharing a story about a successful man that had previously been homeless and he was living on park benches. And someone asked him in an interview, at what point were you successful? At what point did you begin to really feel successful? And he answered this way. He said, I was successful when I was homeless and living on a park bench. Think about that. Think about that for a while. In his consciousness, he chose to be successful. Even though everything outside of him, his results would have declared, no, he's not successful. He's the opposite of that. He's a failure. He's living on a park bench. But he decided to believe something different. And what happened for him? By staying in alignment, by continuing to focus only on what he desired, he created success in his life. Now, do you think it was easy? Probably not. You see, you're a human being that's habitual. And what I'm talking about here may sound like wonderful ideas, but unless and until you get into the habits of success and you become a serious student, you'll probably continue to struggle. And that's not what I want for you. So make sure that you're someone who's decided right here, right now, you're staying in the study of success. You're going to reside in this place called infinite possibilities. Because you know something? Your wonderful, glorious dream life is absolutely waiting for you. But it doesn't get delivered on a silver platter unless and until you get in alignment. You make some decisions. You discipline yourself differently, or you condition yourself for success. Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen for you as surely as it's going to get dark tonight. All right, well, that's a wrap for this podcast. I know you're going to find value in this. You may want to listen to this again and again and again, because repetition is definitely how you're going to get a greater sense of awareness and increase your consciousness as well. So it's always my pleasure to serve you. Please share this podcast with others and leave us a 5-star review if you loved it. I'll see you again in another one of our manifestation podcasts.